Can you imagine what reckless motorcycle riders will do to escape the police? These guys have literally turned highways into video games. In Georgia, a motorcycle rider fleeing at 145 miles per hour is thrown to the ground by a PIT maneuver. In Arkansas, Craig Washington's moments of changing lanes at 120 miles per hour and disrupting traffic are caught on camera. In Bella Vista, a driver going 130 miles per hour crashes into another vehicle and flies into a field. This video is a true storm of speed, chaos, and adrenaline. If you're ready, on November 11th, 2021, at approximately 3:39 p.m., a Lowndes County Sheriff's Office patrol deputy observed a silver Suzuki Hayabusa motorcycle with a skull design traveling over 20 miles per hour above the speed limit on Shiloh Road. The driver ignored the order to stop and began fleeing southbound onto the Interstate 75 ramp, accelerating to speeds of 145 miles per hour and leaving a trail of dangerous driving on the highway for approximately 20 miles. Georgia State Patrol units joined the pursuit. An initial rolling roadblock attempt failed, and the driver continued to flee. If you enjoy action-packed chases and detailed police reports, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. We share new videos every day. Police coordinated to continue the blockade. Their goal was to stop the driver's engine before he crashed. However, it was not easy to subdue this 197 horsepower engine. Police finally managed to squeeze the motorcyclist to the left and he lost control, crashing into the left lane. Teams at the scene intervened immediately, EMS was called, and medical assistance was provided to the driver. A search of driver Uriah Wade Hall yielded a significant amount of evidence. A loaded 9mm handgun, approximately 829 grams of methamphetamine, a small amount of heroin, digital scales, and $1,610 in cash. Hall has a serious criminal record. He had previously been convicted of serious crimes such as theft, possession of drugs for distribution, and giving a false name to the police. It is illegal for a convicted felon to possess a firearm. On October 5th, 2025, at approximately 2:03 p.m., Arkansas State Police Trooper Bluford observed an unlicensed blue motorcycle speeding and changing lanes dangerously on Interstate 30. Bluford activated his sirens and lights to signal the rider to stop. Noting that the rider, later identified as Craig Washington, looked at him and suddenly accelerated. Washington fled along Interstate 30 from the 141st mile marker to the 133rd, reaching speeds of 120 miles per hour. Washington made dangerous maneuvers between vehicles and traffic, attempting to outrun the police by using the emergency lane. He tried to outmaneuver the police officer by passing between vehicles at the last moment and turning onto the road on the right, glancing back over his shoulder. But again, he didn't get what he wanted. Although the driver sometimes managed to pull ahead, the officer's determination kept the chase going. This is a common occurrence in most police interventions in the U.S.
Left lane, wide traffic, 115.
The motorcycle driver, who did not slow down at exit 133, entered the frontage road and turned toward University Avenue, prompting Trooper Highland to take the lead in the pursuit and move more aggressively to the front, narrowing the gap on the ramp. The driver's sudden braking, brake checking, and shoulder passes made it difficult for police vehicles to get into the ideal PIT/TVI position.
Turning around. Taking westbound on Surf Road.
The driver slowed down a bit and pretended to stop. At that moment, he raised his hand in the air and tried to explain something. However, he was still driving.
Speed 30. Taking a right, coming up on University. Speed's 30. We're at University in the Frankfurt Surface Road. We might be stopping now. No, we're just taking off. We're north on University. Wide traffic. Turning left.
When the driver slowed down considerably at an intersection, the officers intervened appropriately and knocked the motorcycle over. The driver abandoned his motorcycle and began to flee on foot. Both troopers gave chase and quickly cornered him in a green area. When Washington resisted orders to lie down on the ground, Highland physically subdued the suspect. After questioning, Washington was taken to the Pulaski County Detention Center and arrested on the following charges: fleeing by vehicle and on foot, excessive speed, and improper lane change. This incident demonstrates once again how dangerous high-speed motorcycle escapes can be. So, how do you think a motorcyclist fleeing at 190 kilometers per hour should be handled? Is it safer to use force or to continue the pursuit? Share your opinion in the comments and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on these kinds of chases. Around 3 p.m. on June 8, 2025, Trooper Surratt of the Arkansas State Police was conducting a radar check near the 88-mile marker on Interstate 49 when he noticed an unlicensed motorcycle speeding by. The radar device detected that the motorcycle was traveling at 85 miles per hour, despite the 70 miles per hour speed limit. Surratt immediately pulled his vehicle out of the median lane and began pursuit. As soon as he activated his emergency lights, the driver accelerated to full throttle. The motorcycle quickly exceeded 100 miles per hour and began weaving through traffic along the interstate. In heavy rain, the motorcycle driver seemed to have little chance. During the chase, the driver made dangerous maneuvers, zigzagging between vehicles and risking the lives of other drivers by passing on the shoulder. As Trooper Surratt called for backup via radio, the motorcycle reached 130 miles per hour. On the highway, as the sound of the wind mingled with the roar of the engine, the motorcycle suddenly lost its balance. The rider collided with the rear fender of another vehicle, was thrown off, and flew off the road. The motorcycle came to a halt stuck in a ditch, but the rider quickly fled on foot after the accident. The Bella Vista Police Department and K9 unit were dispatched to the scene. The K9 team began tracking the driver from the last known location, but the trail went cold after searching for several miles. No identification or license plate was found on the motorcycle. Investigations revealed that the vehicle had previously been registered to someone else, but that person had no information after the sale. The Arkansas State Police's determination shattered all pursuit protocols in Europe. This pursuit, involving a Yamaha motorcycle, demonstrated how far police would go to stop a suspect and ended with a police vehicle intentionally ramming the motorcycle and pinning it against a roadside fence.
We're passing Marshall from Roseville. Coming up to Ridgeway. Right on Churchill, left on Division.
It all began when an officer spotted an unlicensed motorcycle on US Highway 63. The officer locked onto the motorcycle's speed at 109 miles per hour using his radar and initiated pursuit with his lights on. The suspect immediately accelerated to over 120 miles per hour.
All right, coming up to 6. 36. Alright, he's in the ditch, and he began passing North Pig. Crossing North 6, from North End North.
The chase turned into a bizarre game of cat and mouse, the likes of which we would not see in Europe. According to radio reports, the driver would first accelerate above 120 miles per hour, then slow down to allow the police to catch up. Just as the officer approached, the suspect was seen removing his left hand from the handlebars and slipping it into the right breast pocket of his jacket. He repeated this movement several times before accelerating away again at 120 miles per hour.
Back to North End North. Clear, clear, clear. Alright, there's no traffic. We're about 50 right now. Back on Midland. We're right. We're going to be heading towards the downtown area if we stay right.
Back on this.
Past North End. We're passing the Wide Awake Cafe on North 10. Headed back to Wheeler. We're in a parking lot here. Still behind the jail. Going in circles in a parking lot. Headed back towards Wheeler. Alright, we're on Wheeler southbound. Passing South B-Boy.
Which pursuit makes more sense? The aggressive American style, where the police rammed the suspect with their own vehicle to stop him in the face of a possible gun threat, or the European tactics that wait for the suspect to make a mistake? Let me know in the comments and don't forget to subscribe.
Going through a red light. Hey, 7 got the lead. We're coming up to Garrison. North through Garrison. South to North A. That's North J. John, 100, no traffic. No one's walking. I'm coming up to North Exit, North 6 again. North 6 again.
The police officer took advantage of the suspect slowing down to pull his vehicle alongside the motorcycle and began to force it to the right side of the road toward the curb. The officer's intention was to squeeze and stop him. During this maneuver, the officer felt a slight bump on the right rear side of his vehicle. At that moment, as seen on the police camera, the motorcycle rider lost his balance. As the motorcycle fell onto the road, the rider found himself thrown into a house's garden. The police officer immediately got out of his vehicle, took control of the rider, and called an ambulance in case of injury.
Move your hand.